Hey girls, it's Bree.
It's Cece.
It's Angela.
And you're tuned into
For the Girls.
Today, we have another juicy conversation. So before we jump in, I do want to read a review of the week. This is from Radalise Reyes. I hope I said your name right. Hi, ladies. Please do a meet and greet. I live in Jersey and don't mind making the drive to meet you lovely ladies. I love the podcast.
Dre, the people are asking.
I know.
Also, I wouldn't mind traveling to New York.
You know what?
Love me, New York.
As Dre's wife, I will hold him accountable to getting dates on the calendar.
Come on, DeAndre.
You know,
the people
my
are
baby,
asking,
he's got
Mr.
a lot
Producer.
going on.
He does have a
And
lot going
he
on.
has so many events that like he's probably like how to plan an event when I have. Yeah. So I will take lead on that and make sure we get some on the calendar.
Yay.
Can we shout out to Misha though? Because maybe to Misha.
Yes. Oh, yes. Okay. So shout out to
Misha.
Misha. So she is our
girl.
new assistant producer for the Girls. She has been such a good, and I mean, it's only been how long?
Oh, a few weeks.
How long has it been, Dre? It's been a few weeks. Okay, so I have heard nothing but phenomenal things. Dre does not praise people lightly, which means she's amazing. And we met her for the first time today. She was so sweet, and she's doing such a good job already. So let's also make her accountable, and I'll let her know.
Misha, the people are asking. Let's give them what
we
they
need
want.
to get some dates in order. But thank you so much for the review. We are going to jump right into today's episode. Angela, take it.
I have
from
the
here.
black clipboard, you guys. All right. So stick with me again, guys. Hey, y'all. I love listening to y'all. I actually listen to you guys when I'm doing my cardio. Okay. And it gets me through my session without trying to scroll to look for the perfect playlist. Okay, cardio.
No need to go any further, girls.
We got you. We're going to get
Come
you through
over
cardio,
here.
okay? I'm writing to you about having issues with my boyfriend's mom's side of the family. To give some background history on my boyfriend's side, his mom and dad were separated when he was young, and his siblings on the mom's side have all different dads. Growing up, they went through some trauma and daddy issues, so my boyfriend was the one who was always there for them. He's the big brother who played many roles and fights for them still today. There have been some moments where I've sensed a little jealousy from the sisters. For example, last year for my birthday, he gave me a Cartier ring as a gift. Now, you could tell by the look on their faces they felt some type of way. I heard one of the sisters say, "Why did you spend that much money on a ring like that?" Ooh. I heard them ask why you always have to buy her expensive name brand bags. A lot of my friends have also noticed that whenever we're out, the sisters are always trying to be all over my boyfriend as if he's their boyfriend or husband while I'm sitting to the side feeling like I'm third wheeling. Now let's go to the other sister. She and I were really close. We texted every day and talked on the phone for hours. We built our own relationship outside of me just dating her brother. Sometimes she would get put into our relationship drama. Either it was on her side or my side. One day she said to me, "You can really be a bitch." I said, "Who are you talking to?" And she replied, "You." I feel like since she came at me wrong, I had the right to come at her how I wanted to. After that, she decided to show up at our place, banging and yelling at my door when I was in the shower. She eventually left, but stole all decor off my door. I guess she wanted to decorate her door with my stuff. JK. She's funny. I had my boyfriend check his sister and let him handle how he wanted to handle her. After that incident, I didn't talk to her for about 3 weeks. Later on, I went with my boyfriend to his brother-in-law's birthday at the bowling alley. We were there roughly from 8:30 to 11:30. She got timestamps, y'all. This was serious. I saw his sister there, didn't make any eye contact with her, ignored her, and associated with everyone else there besides her. When we were leaving, she came from the back, and when I wasn't looking, she punched me in the face.
What?
Then one of the friends who was there grabbed me and pulled me away, and the other people started to grab her. While she's yelling, my boyfriend runs towards her, pushed her, and started yelling at her. Long story short, I've always felt an iffy connection from his mom's side. I'm pressing charges against his sister for assault and battery.
Good, as you should.
I do not care about the drama that occurred now between my boyfriend and sisters. His dad's side of the family is nothing like this. They are more loving, welcoming, and always happy, where I feel like his mom's side of the family is just toxic and drama. We've been together for 4 years, and he talks about marriage every day and having kids, and now I'm to the point where I want to marry him, but marrying him means I'm marrying into his family, and I don't want to be part of his mom's side, nor have my kids when we have them around them. What should I do?
Ay, ay, ay.
Woo! Sis.
What's up with all these we talk about marriage, we've been together for 4 years. And
I was just gonna say that. It's like, why are you guys just talking about it for so many years? What's coming of it?
I'm not because this,
I don't know a man that talks about it and doesn't.
Recurring theme.
Yeah,
I know. That's
and
probably
I'm
why
not
they're
liking
reaching.
it.
That's probably
but
why
this
they're
is
reaching
why
out.
we always say listen to actions and not words, because a man could talk about whatever he want to talk about.
Yeah.
Like, what is he doing?
Yeah, it's like you're talking about marriage every single day, but
For 4 years.
where's the engagement?
And there's no engagement.
Where's the ring? Like, where's the?
I don't like it. It smells fishy.
Well, okay, y'all.
Okay,
Let's. You know how I feel about unpeeling an onion,
Let's
so
dissect it.
let's get into it. All right. So the first question we have is, how can you navigate relations with your partner's toxic family members?
You don't. No, I'm just
JK.
Punch first, so you ain't got to punch back.
She's on the treadmill right now, okay?
Okay.
Y'all,
You would have been in that bowling
she's on the
alley
treadmill
rumbling.
right now. Her adrenaline's up, so let's help her out, okay? All right. Do not punch first.
Oh, man.
No. You did the right thing, girl. Always press charges. For real. I'm telling you.
Because they ain't going to do it again.
Okay. And also, you got to hit people where it really hurts, and it's their
coin.
pockets. Okay.
Yeah,
Like,
unfortunately.
physically, you can heal from that, but some people can't recover from a financial.
That's what I'm saying. That stuff goes on your record.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And I wonder I wonder if her and the sister are ever in the same room together. Because for me, I'd be like, I still owe you one. So shouldn't feel comfortable being around me.
I have to give kudos to the boyfriend because
stepping in.
He did stick up for
stepping
her.
in, because it seems like he is definitely checking his sisters when they are out of line.
Yeah.
So I gotta have to give mad kudos to him, because we've had some other
Situations.
writers that
Right.
some other girls who have written in who was like the dude was not doing anything.
Right.
So
Yeah.
so girl, your man is seems to be doing the right things in this regard.
And then it seems like, he was his sister's dad figure. So he stepped up, he did things for them. So he sounds like a decent.
And also the only solid male figure in their life.
Right.
And so naturally I could see how they're very attached to him and very protective over him, but it's almost giving
Obsessed.
obsessive.
Yeah.
Because I understand you are very attached to your brother, but for you to get in the middle of him and his girl and be acting like his girlfriend, that's weird.
But see, and this is what's weird, that her and the sister were such good friends, because then that lets you know that she actually genuinely liked the girlfriend, and that it's more of a personal thing. She felt, attacked. This is what I would say, because the question is, how to navigate the toxic family dynamic. I think one, and this is going to suck to hear, but I think that she was wrong for biting back in a sense. When the girl said, sometimes you can be a bitch. And she was like, so she said that, and I felt like I come at her out of her way, and it's no, you can't, because that's how you navigate through toxic family relationships. Is even when they are toxic to you, you cannot return the shit. You have got to be the bigger person, because at the end of the day, it's only going to bite you in the butt. And I know I made some jokes about hit her back and stuff, but we too grown for that. You have too much to lose. In reality, when situations like that occurs, especially when you know that there has been some pettiness, there has been some, lack of maturity and lack of understanding and receiving you as his woman, you can't snoop down to their level. The best way to deal with toxic families is for you to be the best person possible that you could be, and put yourself in a position not to be looked at as less than, because at some point they're just gonna have to respect you. But if you get down to their level, now we're playing the same game, and now you're on the same playing field. Now, will they ever respect you again? I don't know.
And I wonder what made her even say that comment. What was the situation? Did something happen that maybe you were acting a little bitchy in that moment. Like,
Which is okay. We all
which
do
is
it.
fine. Oh, girl, listen, I'm a bitch sometimes. I will be the first to admit it, okay? But, you know, I think that also, like, in that situation, I absolutely agree with Bree. Like, you should never stoop down to their level. And then also maybe take some time to do some self-reflection. Like, was there something that I could have done better in this situation? Like, why would she even say that? And then have an adult conversation with her. It's because it seemed like they were girlfriends.
They seemed like they were really
very
close.
close. So as your girlfriend, like, especially a dynamic like this, you're almost like sisters in a sense, because they were very close. They used to talk daily.
Yeah. They talked every day on the phone for hours.
Right. So like, that's like your sister. So there's gonna be moments in relationships throughout your life where you are gonna have some animosity towards people that you love dearly, right? And so if she came at you in some type of way that you didn't like, doesn't mean that you have to like pop back at her.
Yeah.
But you know what I'm saying? Like, take the higher road, and then when she's able to calm down and to be in a space that she's able to receive what you have to say to her, you know, then that's the time to kind of address it. Like, yo, like, you kind of came at me sideways. Like, what was that about? And as girlfriends that have this type of this level of relationship, you should be able to discuss that and hash that out and have a conversation around that. You know?
Yeah, I definitely think that's where she went wrong first. Is it would have never gotten to the bowling alley punching in the face situation had she not bit back like that. And I know it's hard. We all do it, you know. It's hard to hold your tongue and, you know, to think before you speak. But in situations like this, where this isn't just your girlfriend, it's your man's sister, a man who you're talking marriage with, you can't respond any way that you want, unfortunately, especially when it's toxic people, because they feed off of that. She wanted you to do that. She got what she wanted.
Right.
Absolutely.
And now you're here writing into us.
Right.
So I think it's one, how to navigate those relationships. You have got to be the better person, the bigger person, and you have to take time to navigate with your partner how, as a couple, you're going to deal with the situation. Because I'm sure there was something that he could have done before the bowling situation that maybe could have, you know, de-escalated the situation to not have gotten to that point, if he maybe was communicated with properly. And that's something that, you know, maybe because you guys were friends, it wasn't like, hey, let me tell you what happened with your sister, because you kind of just looked at it as like a girlfriend moment. But again, you guys are a partnership. So
is there a way for her to heal this relationship with the sisters? Well, let's start with the sister she was cool with. Is there a way for her to heal this now that she's pressed charges, the police are brought into it?
I say no.
Yeah, I'm gonna say no too.
Okay.
Coming from a girl who hit you from the back,
Yes.
she don't care about you, sis.
Yeah.
And now you done press charges. If, you know, I'm thinking back to CB, Cleveland Bree. No, we would not be
I was about
cool.
to say CB.
We would not be cool.
She didn't just give herself an acronym.
No, that's what Dre calls me when I get ratchet.
Oh, I love that.
He'd be like, CB coming up.
So
All I'm saying is I know girls like her type.
Right.
No, she not gonna just let that slide.
Right.
Now, what would happen is if she hasn't already done all the things to where it's a done deal, if she came to the sister and was like, hey, I need to have a conversation. One, I feel totally disrespected by the fact that you put your hands on me. I'm not going to forget that happened. However, I'm choosing to forgive. And in my forgiveness, I'm going to drop the charges and all the other things. If you can agree that we are going to meet on the same page and be respectful to one another, because you value and respect my relationship with your brother, and I value and respect your relationship with him as, you know, his sister. And if she was able to drop the charges and all of that, I think for sure the sister would be like, yeah, that's a deal. She still might have some little snarky comments and things like that, but I think they could get through it. If the charges are already pressed, no, baby, she not forgiving that.
Yeah. Okay, so keeping that in mind, can there, aside from the fact that they're 4 years in and they're just talking about marriage, say they do decide to take that step, how does she navigate now her fiance or whoever she's going to marry? He was there for his sisters. He was their father figure. how are they going to navigate this?
Well, you know, I think that this is kind of when he as
has
the
to step
man,
in.
he has to step in and step up.
Yeah.
Right? Because
And he's shown that he can do that.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Right. So I have no doubt based off of what she's telling us that he's capable and willing to do that. And the reason why it's on him is because now he has all these women in his world and in his, you know, that are near and dear to him, that he loves and he wants to keep close to him in his life, that have some tension amongst themselves. And so in order to make it better and make it whole again, that relationship between them is quite fractured.
Yeah.
And I don't think that there is anything that they can do based off of what we've heard that is going to heal that.
Yeah.
It's gonna be on him.
Yeah.
He's gonna have to be that voice of reason that brings them together again.
Right.
Because if it's not him, then who's it gonna be?
Right.
Yep. Because at the end of the day, what he could probably do is, you know, make the sister understand that, like, at the end of the day, you put your hands on her. She had every right to press charges and do whatever. And if the sister
she snuck her.
If
Like,
she's a big,
that's
if
dirty.
yeah. So if he could make her see how wrong she was, then maybe she could get over it. But like I said, I mean, when you bring law enforcement and stuff like that, it's very hard to go back from that.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm a
this
pray
is gonna
for
go on her record.
the sister's heart to forgive, but
So,
assault
okay.
ain't no joke.
I mean, but also like forgiveness on both ends, right? It's like
for
it's like,
sure.
oh, like I forgive you for pressing charges, but like now I have to forgive you for
snuffing me.
sneaking me in
Yeah.
the bowling alley that was
Yeah.
unwarranted, you know?
Yeah.
And calling me a bitch, like and then all this and all that. So, you know, it has to come from him, and he has to like make it a non-negotiable on both ends. Like, I need you guys to come together.
Yeah.
I need you guys to put your differences aside for me.
Yeah.
You love me and you love me.
He has to be the leader in the situation.
100%.
So I'm just going to say, like, put this out there. I think that in any kind of damaged familial relationships, whatever the situation may be, it's got to be the person whose family is having issues with the spouse, if that makes sense. Because, I mean, I just, you know, people, I think most people don't marry somebody who has the perfect family. Most people have issues on both sides of the family. Everybody's families are different. Everybody's family's dynamics are different. My family dynamics are incredibly different from Sean's family dynamics. But at the end of the day, it was me and him. I'm marrying him. Yes, I'm marrying him and he has a family, but it's his job to make sure I'm protected from any family issues that arise.
Yes.
And thankfully, there's never been any family issues that have come and have affected me to the point where he's had to protect me. And this is like probably not a relatable topic, but a good example of that is when I met Sean, he had a child and there was a mother and he wanted to be in his child's life and he wanted everybody to get along. It was his job to lead that charge. And it took a while. It took a lot of communication and conversation. But, you know, at the end of the day, I have a good relationship with his son's mother and we will text and call each other, you know, and were we best friends in the beginning? No. Were there some words that we probably don't like that each other said in the beginning? Yes. But who was in charge of fixing that? Sean.
Yeah.
So I know that's a totally like outside example out of getting snuffed by sister, but it's an example of the man leading the charge. And if it was a woman, I think it's also her job to make sure her family is understanding of, this is my spouse, this is how it's got to go. So I think that, yes, I think that toxic family situations, whatever, can be married. And you can marry someone with a toxic family or damaged dynamic on that side of the family. But it's that person who you're marrying, it's their job to protect you and to fix it.
Yeah.
And to also tell you what you're doing wrong in the situation.
Yeah.
So,
That part.
yeah. So if he, now there's charges. I don't know if he can fix this. So
I mean, I think he can, right? So, depending on how he goes about bringing his sisters and his lady together, charges can be dropped, right? But, or depending on where they are in the legal process. But, caveat.
how far they've gone in.
We need to caveat that. But, I really, the onus is on him.
Yeah.
And he
I
has
do think though, with some people, like y'all know I totally agree about the man, being in charge and
Or the
taking
woman,
the
right.
lead in terms of wherever the dynamic is messed up at. But sometimes there's nothing you can do.
Right.
And this brings me to the point of, what do you do when you are in a relationship with somebody and there is no fixing the dynamic with the family because the family is just that bitter, that immature, that grudge holding, they just don't care to have any whatever with you.
Do you think they're past family therapy?
No, but I don't think that the family would do it.
Right.
And this is my thought, right? Like, when you're grown like that and you're doing stuff like that, that's not somebody who is in a space where they're gonna receive someone telling you to go to therapy. Well,
Right.
I think that it's more of a pride thing of like, that's what happens when you disrespect me in the way that you did. And it is probably gonna be very difficult it's gonna be difficult to, fix that relationship. However, I've never understood why people get so like bent out of shape about starting a family when the other person's family is like a hot mess, because at the end of the day, what you're having the opportunity with this person that you're dating is to start your own family and to
start your own dynamic.
Yes, create your own dynamic. Because at the end of the day, as Angela mentioned, people, all of us, our families are not perfect. Everyone has their stuff.
Yeah.
But if there's a certain level of like, there is no helping this and there's nothing we can do, what you can do is be happy without them mofos. And you can move in a way to where you protect your household, you protect your children, and you protect your peace while still being the person, like I said, the bigger person. If there's a birthday party for a cousin, show up with your gift, eat a piece of cake, say hello, and get the fuck up out of there.
Yeah.
But it's got to be both of them. They both have to be on the same page.
Yes,
Like,
absolutely. But he seems like he definitely is.
Yes. So say you get married and you do have kids, and she mentioned she's uncomfortable with her kids being around his mother's side of the family.
And that's fine if he feels the same.
But you guys got to be on the same page. Are we going to this birthday? No, because we decided I don't want my child around that. He has to be like, okay.
Which I do think in certain dynamics, like with them, right? You have to give people a chance. So it's like, worst case scenario, I would say that you should raise your children in a space where they do know their family.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that they have to hang out during free times or that you guys are gonna take family vacations. But when there is a birthday party, when there is a family celebration, the kids should be able to be around, unless the kids are around and the family does something that puts your kids in harm's way, or they do something that is detrimental to their upbringing. If that's a situation, then now we can say we don't bring the kids around because of X, Y, and Z. But if you just don't bring the kids around because you got hit for talking out the side of your neck, that's not fair. You know what I mean? So it's like it's at least allow that relationship to be healed in a sense of giving that chance.
Yeah.
If the chance is messed up, then yes, baby, you and your man go do your own thing, and you got to be on the same page with that.
Right.
But I do want to, pivot into this. Why has he been talking about marriage for 4 years? She didn't mention how old she is,
she
right?
Didn't mention
they didn't
how
mention their
old.
age.
She definitely said that he's given her, he has the means to get her a ring.
4 years is a long time.
4
with
years is a
no
long
engagement.
Yes,
and
sis.
to be talking about marriage every day.
Yeah, you real interested,
You
but ain't
talking a
moving.
good talk, daddy, but where the actions at?
Yeah, no, I mean, Bree brings up a really good point. At the end of the day, if your ultimate goal is to get married and have kids, I mean, why haven't y'all done that?
Because at this point, you getting in fights. What are you fighting for?
Yeah.
Like, what?
You're getting your face messed up. What is it worth it?
Like
is he
where
not-
are we going with this?
Yeah, no, that's a really good point.
Because I think
do you
the sister
it's
would have thought a little, deeper if she's like, oh, this is my blood, or I mean, not my blood, my sister-in-law, or like this is my brother's wife,
or the
but clearly
future
you're just a
mother
girlfriend
of my niece and nephew.
Yeah, I don't think she was thinking long term at all, and that's a problem.
She's thinking that she can be replaced.
Yeah.
So I would look at that.
Yeah. Dang. Okay.
I know that's not what you called in for, but
we had to bring that up. Like, if anything, like we'll say that to our friends. Like, what's taking so long?
Unless y'all are 18,
right?
21,
which I guess
it's like 4 years isn't, but if you're 24 and up and y'all been together talking marriage for 4 years, but nothing has come of it except for some expensive bags or presents or whatever.
Cartier rings.
Yeah.
Now I will say if so sorry, I'm only gonna say this only because you said 24 and up. Listen, if you're only 24, I encourage you to wait a little bit longer until you get married. That's just my.
No, I mean, like if you were dating, I'm saying from 24 to 28. Like,
okay, I'm
like if you were 18 and you were dating for 4 years, then I can understand not being married yet because you're in your early 20s. So but if y'all
he's buying Cartier rings,
right? Like they gotta be
Cartier rings and not be able to afford them.
Yeah,
this is true.
Yeah,
like just like listen, there's a lot of people.
Yeah, no,
that purchase material goods and cannot afford them, or purchase material goods that are fraudulent. Okay, like not everything that glitters is gold, honey.
This is true.
I'm not saying that's you. I just want to caveat. Not saying that's you, girl, but I'm just saying.
Yeah, I guess in the end, what we're trying to say is you can co-create your own family, and you can attempt to navigate some of these issues and give the sisters of the future aunts of your children a chance, and all of that jazz. It's all very possible, irregardless of the charge. We're saying all of it is possible. It can be done, but the question is, why hasn't it been done? And it's been 4 years. So I think that's what we're trying to say right there. Like, what's going on there? Why? Is it the family that's holding it back? And if that's the reason, because she said, I don't want to be part of the mom's side. I don't want to marry this family. Also, if you don't want to do that, then you don't want to
marry.
You shouldn't marry him.
So, right. So how does your man feel about this?
Yeah.
Right. So it's like, you don't want to be part of his mom's side, but does he want to remove himself from his mom's side of the family?
Right.
You know,
and so that was something I held dearly when I decided to start looking for, or, preparing myself to be a wife, preparing myself for a husband to enter my life. That was on my list. I know we've talked a lot about lists, and remember how I said I took off some stuff, and, one of the things that stayed on that list was able to get along with my family.
Mm-hmm.
That was important to me because I can't see a life without Alina being able to be around her Pop and Lola.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you've ever seen your parents, grandparents with their grandchildren, it's the most beautiful thing.
It is.
It's like you fall in love with your dad and mom in a different way.
Yeah, 100%.
So that was very important to me. I can't. And then same on the other side, seeing Sean's mother with my daughter.
Mm-hmm.
It's, when she starts praying at night, she goes down the list. Y'all are in there. But she says Lola and Pop and my Nana and my this and my that, because that's important, and because I think of that. And it's just interesting seeing your parents evolve and your sisters evolve and your brother evolve into aunts and uncles.
Mm-hmm.
And that was really important to me, and that was on my list. And it almost sounds like that's very important to her.
Yeah. And also, you have to think of this from your man's point of view too, right? So like, you can't just always be in a selfish state when you're in a relationship, especially if you're in a relationship where you're seriously considering spending your life with this person. it sounds like your man has been the leader of his household in regard to his mother and his sisters.
Yeah.
Okay, so they're extremely important to him. So imagine you.
I don't see him up and leaving it. Yeah.
So imagine you coming along, and you're saying, "I don't want us to have anything to do with him. I mean, with them." How do you think he's going to view that and view you now in that sense that you're that you're kind of coming in and breaking up a bond and changing that dynamic that they had, you know?
Yeah.
So you have to think of it from his point of view too. Put yourself in his boat.
Yeah.
He's in a very tough position. He loves you. He loves them. So for you to come in and be like, I don't want anything to do with them. You have to choose me or them. Kind of thing that you're giving
That's
that kind of energy.
Creates resentment.
It's going to create resentment. It's like that may be okay now, but then a few years down the road, as you guys start having kids, he's like, you know what? I miss my sisters. I miss my mom.
I want them to meet my kids.
So you have to really tread those waters like carefully, because how you feel today can cause a lot of harm later on down the road.
Yeah. Oh my gosh,
For
Cece,
sure.
that's 100, because I mean, it sounds like he protects you, and it sounds like he is aware that you are the queen. And I will 100% say this to the top of my lungs, scream it everywhere. Your husband, when you marry your husband, you are the queen. He isn't married to your mother. He isn't married to your sisters. He isn't married to anybody else. So for you, you come first, and God. However, that's these people are who he grew up with.
Yeah.
They molded him into who he is.
They were his queens before you came along.
They love him. So there has to be some type of respect in there
Yes.
for that.
Yes.
And if you can't have that and he's not okay with it, I don't think this is going to work out for the future. That's my opinion.
Yeah.
And Angela, you mentioned like family therapy.
Yeah.
And I feel like therapy only works with people who want help,
Right,
who want to be
exactly.
better, who want to do better. And so I think it would be very awkward and odd for you to like go into a situation with somebody who hit you to be like, hey, you want to do some family therapy? Like, you know, like I don't see her receiving that well. And I don't know, you know, in regards to the question, like who that's for, you know what I mean? Because it's like, who would be doing the family therapy in a sense? And I don't have any experience with family therapy. I've never done family
haven't
therapy
either.
before.
Yeah.
But what I'm assuming is that just like with any other therapy, it's to give you tools to be able to maneuver through difficult situations in a space with grace and patience and things. And again, in order for that to happen, both parties or individuals involved would all have to want the same outcome.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, most of the time, that's just not the situation. And so then you have to be realistic about what are our options. And then can we come up with something that we are both mutually comfortable with and actually satisfied with, not, as Cece mentioned, him saying like, yeah, if that's what it takes. And then a few years down the line, when he's missing Christmases and, you know, the holidays and the family cookouts, him being like, I wish I was just with somebody who could get along with my family.
Right.
'Cause that's what would
we've
happen.
had like a write-in where it wasn't going to work with the mother and the sister. But the guy was completely on board with it
Yeah,
because
he
they
was
had
like, I don't want
exhausted
nothing
all
to do
their
with them.
issues. He was totally fine with starting a life with this woman because they've exhausted all their options. He wanted her and he wanted that life, and mom and sister weren't on it. It sounds like this guy, he will protect you. However, it doesn't sound like
He's willing to leave.
willing to leave and cut off ties with her. That's just what I'm getting from this. And if it's different, please feel free to write us, DM us, email us so we can get more context around the situation. But unfortunately, like Cece said, you don't want to put him in a spot where 10 years you're resenting. Look, marriage is hard.
Girl, it's hard enough as it is.
So the goal is to resolve some of the things that can make marriage harder.
Yeah.
And,
that's my
that
thing,
sounds
though.
like something that could really make a marriage hard.
I think she should start there though. Like, why even question all the things if y'all aren't getting married? So it's like, we've been together for 4 years. if you do want to fix the dynamic in the family, let's make sure that we're actually doing this first. Like, where's my ring? Where's my commitment? And then I'll put all of my energy into being in a space where we can be good with your family. But if I'm your girlfriend and I could be gone tomorrow, why am I about to stress myself out
I'm
to be around people who don't want to be around me? You know what I mean?
on the docket.
Yeah, that's a lot. So I think start there. Like, get with your man and be like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
Like, what are we doing? Does it make sense? Is this what we want? And if so, how are we moving forward in the near future? Not another 4 years from now, but in the near future, what are we doing to put me at ease for all of the hard work that it's going to take to make this family dynamic make sense? Because why am I doing it? I'm not fixing nobody's family if I'm not in there for the long haul, you know? Like, where's my promise?
Yeah.
Okay. Where's my commitment?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I hope this helped, anonymous sis.
Anonymous sis.
I hope you're healing physically and mentally. I hope that you have that conversation tomorrow, or maybe
As soon as you
maybe after you're done the treadmill or whatever cardio. Maybe we can call our man and say, "Hey, let's figure out what we're doing because it's been 4 years." And if we're getting married, we are. So let's fix this problem first. I think that's our consensus.
She gonna be like,
on
for the
advice.
girls said.
You can blame it on us. It's fine.
She gonna come back all sweaty after her workout. Like, we gotta talk.
Let's not waste any more time.
No,
Time
for real.
wasted keeps you off the market.
Hello.
Honey. Okay.
Yeah, that was good though. Thanks so much for writing in. And again, like, please reach out to us. Let us know if this was helpful. And if you are out there and you have a story that you want to tell and some real-time advice that you want to get, go to relationshiprestore.com, click on For the Girls, and fill out the form. Help a girl out. Make sure to follow us on social at Angela Hanna, at Cece Costin, at Brianna Ponte, and of course, at Relationship Restored. And until next time, you beautiful girls, you.
Next time.
Ta-ta.